Hey, what's up, guys? It's your boy Mahatma Gandhi back with some more choices that matter. And the sun went out, and when we last left off, we found out that we don't have enough time to launch, so we gotta rush it. And we finally told Sharon how we feel. I don't know if she agrees or not. I might have to tell her it again. But yeah, we yeah. So now we're being attacked at the Russian Cosmodrome, as you can see right there. Tells exactly how many people did exactly what I did. All right, now let's go ahead and get into Arc 14 because I have a feeling that the game is very close to ending. So let's begin with a. Oh yeah, by the way, Crank fired a rocket to start the fight, I guess. With a deafening boom, the rocket launcher Crank launched zoomed towards the first incoming tank. We got tanks? There's tanks coming through? You missed, I cried, watching it hit just in front of the vehicle. No, he didn't, Dolores muttered, wincing. The tank trembled and then became stuck in a ditch the rocket had created. Crank crowed with excitement and began loading another. Looking down, I saw our people scrambling. I have to get everyone inside, I yelled, making my way back down the ladder. Outside, Sharon and Etienne were leading the pack and getting everyone else in position. A group of armed rebels came into sight, and I panicked. I was about to yell for Sharon before I realized I would only make both of us an easy target. A heavy weight hit me in the stomach, and I fell backwards onto the ground, gasping in pain. Shh, said Sharon. She'd crash-tackled me to the ground. I nodded and grabbed her hand, pressing it to my lips. Nothing like getting shot at to make a new relationship feel like the most natural thing in the world. I slowed my breath and listened, trying to hear the small sounds between gunshots and my own ragged breath. Dang. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I heard the careful movement as Sharon crept away from me towards the guns. Let's do this, bro. As we carefully shifted position within the noisy leaf litter, we heard more gunshots and screaming coming from the direction of our friends, and then the sounds of someone yelling in Chinese. Uh-oh. Is that Wong? That voice was coming our way, and quickly. My stomach wrenched, wondering if we were surrounded, even though our vantage point had only spotted the one attacking front. A moment later, I recognized Wong's voice. It was him, and he was running towards us, waving his hands. Sharon grabbed a rock in each hand and ran towards Wong and towards the people shooting at us. I ran after her, grabbing a stick, just so I wasn't completely empty-handed. After a few steps, I heard another barrage of bullets, and Wong screamed in pain. Oh no. The two of us hit the ground a second time. The gunfire was coming from both in front of us and behind. Oh god, it's coordinated. Shout a war cry, run towards the soldiers. Well, there is no death in my future, but I don't think that's a smart idea. Maybe they'll think I'm crazy and some of them will flee. Nah, I'm good. Search for Wong. I crashed forward towards the first of where the outbuildings were, scrabbling along the ground whenever I fell, trying not to think I might be about to die. Sharon was right beside me. I slipped and fell onto something that wasn't gravel or debris. It was Wong. He was clutching his arm, blood seeping from his shoulder where a bullet wound pulsed. Wong, I gasped, leaning next to him. Hit the deck, he wheezed. Take cover, bruh. Knowing that Wong had been playing with chemicals to create a bomb, I hustled to duck behind the structure Wong was leaning against. Let's go, Wong, let's go. Ah! Oh, walk! Yeah! Unless that was a tank. An explosion went off further along, and I winced, glad that Wong was on our side. That'll slow them down, he wheezed, going pale in his face from blood loss. Oh no. We need to get you back to safety, I muttered, hauling him up from the ground. Modi, lead us back to the launch site, avoiding any of the horde. Modi led us back towards the launch site, telling us to wait when people came too close and run when the path was clear. Modi's hearing was a beautiful thing. When we got closer, Vadik ran out from the closest barricade and helped me with Wong, taking him back into the building. Inside, Matron was also sitting on the ground, cradling her leg, which also had blood seeping from it. Damn, she got shot. Shot too? I asked, dismayed. My own fault, she winced. I stepped out from cover at the wrong time. I looked around, anxiety ratcheting higher. If we were surrounded, then many of the people would die, particularly if we couldn't get the rocket ready for launch. You guys shouldn't be here, I muttered, dismayed. Had I signed a death warrant on all of my friends? Modi's right, Matron said, fumbling as she loaded a fresh clip into one of the guns beside her. Reloading must be how she was helping. This is where the sun is won or lost. Where else would we want to be at such a time? Modi, I repeated dully. My sense of unease was rising sharply, and I suddenly realizing outside and all and around us had fallen silent. Something's happening, I whispered. Tell the others to fall back into the launch building immediately. Leave everything except guns. We may have to make a break for it when we see a chance. Amala joined us, holding bandages, and shook her head. Reinforcement, she was smiling. I noticed for the first time that she had her own Modicon device. Had Modi been communicating with her this whole time? Or was that the one on Yumi's wrist? Who? I said through gritted teeth. Who's coming? Can they be trusted? Are they armed? She shrugged as best she could while cleaning Wong's wound. Everyone is coming, Modi called them just like us. Modi, I growled. Don't worry, teacher. I have taken care of everything. He updated once again. Dang, he updated quicker. It's going to be alright. Modi, what have you done? Who exactly is everyone? Who exactly is everyone? Surprise! No, I said, no more surprises. This isn't a game, Modi. What have you done? Please scan from a vantage point so I can view our latest additions via your contact lenses. It is important that I know who is approaching, just in case. Did he just update again? For a furious moment, I considered simply closing my eyes. Then I obeyed Modi, going to the window and making a sweep of the road, heading towards the building and the dirt roads that dead-ended in the forest. Amela reluctantly left me with just Sharon, who was armed now, I noticed, and Etienne, who let the others know not to shoot unless Modi or I shouted that we were under attack. A man stood so quietly before us that I wasn't sure if I saw a real person or was just jumping at shadows. Then Etienne jerked forward as if he'd been pulled on a string. Pierre, he cried, and the two embraced, babbling away in French. Sharon elbowed me in the ribs. Who's that tall glass of chocolate milk? Etienne's ex, I said, feeling very much like I was stating the obvious. He's a security guard at Flying Falls. Damn. Ah, she said. Well, it seems everyone that matters to Etienne is here. Except his father, I thought, but didn't say aloud. I miss Professor Soul with a sudden sharp pain. Is this good, teacher? Are you surprised? Is this it? Is Pierre just the only one? Yes, Modi, I'm very surprised. I was extremely uncomfortable with Modi bringing more innocent people into our battle, but it was true that we needed all the help we could get. I had a bad feeling we'd be buying our way out of the battle at the cost of more lives. Dolores moved from group to group, making sure they knew who she was and that each mini-group had their own radio to receive commands. I wondered exactly how the new additions had arrived in the middle of nowhere. Modi had led them in, but how, I had no idea. I could see Dolores shooting glances at me. She needed me to step up and take the lead, but I didn't know how. Modi, I hissed, How do you guide them in here so accurately? I thought we were surrounded. You were correct, teacher. We were blocked off on 3 sides. The Russian military has set up local network for reliable communication and are calling the shots with the smaller groups. They are not yet aware that I am using their own network to rearrange their troops. Damn, Modi. Damn. Damn, Modi. I see, I said, wondering how long such a useful trick could last. Please continue to monitor them closely. Yes, teacher. I was distracted briefly as a man coughed loudly to announce his presence, following it up with a yelp of cry of "Don't shoot." I recognized the accent. It was Sharon's ex-boyfriend, the private investigator who had helped us find Victor Santiago in Australia. What? Damien, Sharon squeaked. What the blue blazes? She instinctively drew closer to me, holding my hand to her chest. The gesture wasn't lost on Damien, who gave me a nod of acknowledgement that was more than a simple greeting. Sharon gave me a sheepish look. Okay, so maybe Etienne isn't the only one who keeps in touch with an ex-boyfriend. Oh, god damn it. Who'd want to lose a friend like you, I said. Mum! Sharon's face dropped in pure shock. Chrissy! Oh no. Is Chrissy here? A blonde woman hurtled from the trees and formed a vortex of blonde with her mother. They looked remarkably alike, and I managed not to say so in front of Chrissy. Oh god. Oh no. A man in an air of long-suffering fondness materialized beside me, greeting me with a melodic Spanish accent and telling me to call him Matthias. This then was Chrissy's partner. Oh. I wondered briefly who was minding their kids, but even with Modi's expert misdirection through to the launch site, I was glad they were nowhere nearby. Sharon held her daughter back so she could look at her properly. Her face shone with pleasure despite our situation. She dragged Chrissy over to me, collecting Matthias on the way, and introduced us with a curious and entirely nonsensical formality. Thank you for coming. While Chrissy and Matthias had a high-speed family reunion with Sharon, I noticed Chief approaching me. What is it? I asked him. We have a problem, he said. You're right, we need to get out of here before they realize Modi's giving them their orders. It's not that, he said. It's the moon. It moved significantly during the 3rd sun outage. We'll have to recalibrate everything. Timing, trajectory, fuel, oxygen requirements, everything. Oh god. The moon moved? I struggled to accept the bad news as another barrage of gunfire pockmarked the first layer of barricades. It wouldn't hold much longer. I had to get my people back behind the second layer. Chief winced, obviously not used to the violence, and yelled over the increasing noise. The calculations will take time. If we don't get them right, we may as well give up now. Where do we start? Our head astronaut took a deep breath and visibly calmed himself, flinching as a lucky bullet hit the wall behind him. I'm a physicist, among other things, he said. I can work out certain things, but I need help, and I need more than just Jack checking my statistics. Chase, I said, he's one of the children of Gaia, and he has a bunch of engineering qualifications. Could he help? His forehead cleared. Yes, together we could do it, he scowled again, but we need to input the data through the new Russian intranet as well. Well, we got Vadik. Oh yeah, you also got Modi too. I can enter the codes. I am an excellent hacker. Hold on there, Modi. If we're splitting up, I want you with me at all possible. Do we have another hacker? Vadik. Oh yes, teacher. Mr. Vadik is an excellent hacker as well as a native Russian, so he speaks Russian and English fluently. That is good, said Jack. That is very good. But the intranet. I shrugged my ignorance at him, but it was Modi who answered. Teacher, the new intranet is reliable and extremely useful, but Mr. Jack's team will need to stay within range of the signal. Oh, I said, where would that be? Within range, I mean. The outer buildings where we can connect to the Ethernet cables? I groaned, realizing exactly what we meant. We need to stay here. We need to defend the launch buildings, no matter what. No, Jack said, not all of you, just enough to draw off a platoon of soldiers if necessary, and another group to actually fuel the rocket after we figured out exactly how much fuel is needed. He looked away, embarrassed. We both knew we'd be sending people to their deaths. Even Modi was silent, but the endless gunfire didn't stop. We need two distinct groups of people, I said, struggling to focus on anything other than staying in cover and not getting shot. People who can fight. Modi, you have a better idea of skill than I do. What do we have? I do not like this, teacher. Neither do I. Tell me who we have either here or coming soon, and I will make the decisions. Yes, teacher, shall include the children of Gaia and the Aetherites? No, I said, their knowledge is too valuable. Besides, how many are left? The Portugal chapter Children of Gaia that Miss Farrer brought to us, including Mr. Chase. Then we have the Chinese chapter of the Aetherites, including Mr. Wong and Miss Satin. I bit my lip, knowing Satin's knowledge of guerrilla fighting meant she'd have to be part of our front line sooner or later. I vowed it would be later, and hoped Chase would be able to forgive me if she died. I've made friends with the police who arrested you in Cusco. They're also here. Why? When? I started to say before giving up. Modi considered everyone a potential friend. I wasn't even arrested for very long in Peru. Miss Farrer's daughter Aurora will arrive shortly, along with her guardian. Modi, no, I said, this is no place for children. She and Yumi will be best friends. Modi, stop. I was appalled at the thought of the sensitive Egyptian orphan being put into danger and immediately looked up to where he was sitting with Crank in his vantage point. Someone nearby screamed in pain as one of the bullets found her. Modi, someone was just shot. I know, teacher. Dolores' wound is unlikely to be fatal. Okay, Dolores got shot, but okay. She's already bandaged it and is shooting back. That's good, but I don't want a child getting shot, fatally or otherwise. Neither do I, teacher. Aurora and Yumi understand things. They would be badly hurt no matter where they were. I shook my head, but I didn't need to say a word. I hated acknowledging it, but I knew Modi was right. Aurora is safe in town, but I have lost communication with them. Keep the children safe, Modi, no matter what. Have Matron take a car to get them, but make sure all the adults have guns and vehicles. Keep the children safe. Yes, teacher. I hoped I'd done enough, but couldn't help feeling uneasy. Wong was already shot, and we had only just started. What about Aetherites? I asked Modi, dreading the answer. How many are left? Mr. Wong, Miss Satin, and the others from the jet. Thank you, Modi. Of course, Satin is the only fighter amongst the Aetherites. She will defend Chase's position whether I ask her to or not, I suspect. But who can stand guard with her, and who can get close enough to refuel the rocket? I was briefly distracted as a crowd of Japanese people arrived. Mickey, the woman, Modi, and I pulled from the rubble of number 5 a police officer that I recognized from the hotel we were staying in, as well as the hotel staff and what looked like the staff and volunteers from the hospital that had lost power, and we helped transfer patients to other places. I hardly knew any of their names, but they'd come to help in our time of need. Modi had remembered everyone that we had ever helped. I risked and waved at Mickey, who seemed to have several other scientists with her as she approached Dolores. If anyone could organize the gathering group, she could. Then I ducked as bullets flew my way. The soldiers were closer than ever. I chewed my lower lip and thought the crew to refuel the rockets would need subtlety rather than force. If they were seen, they were dead either way. Once the math was done, Satin would need to be part of that crew. She had the skills and the smarts for it. Behind me, people continued to sort themselves into new combinations of people ducking bullets and exchanging pot shots with the enemy. I recognized numerous scientists associated with Petrus. Oh God, I forgot Petrus died. It made me sad to think of his beautiful castle in Indonesia where so many intellectuals had gathered in safety for a while. Teacher, have you decided who will refuel the rocket yet? Residents from Tokyo to deal with it. Send them. I had absolutely no idea if I made the right choice, but I did know the astronauts would probably miss the moon altogether if I chose it incorrectly. It was hard to think straight with bullets flying past. I turned and saw more allies from all around the world. We need to talk to someone about joining the battle, teacher. Who? I asked. Surely every single person I met along the way had now miraculously shown up to fight for us, regardless of their level of fighting experience. Who would I need to talk to now? Amala, Etienne's mother. She could be quite useful in this battle. Oh, Modi, I don't think she's that kind of person. She is. I resist the urge to argue. It was silly, but I was glad that Amela had come, if only to show Etienne how much he was worth to her despite all she'd done. I heard her calling, Etienne, over here. We all turned and saw her. She looked as if she'd been crying, although she wasn't visibly injured. I saw her put a small device in her pocket and knew she used it to track Etienne. Pierre and I both instinctively moved to stand between Etienne and his mother, but managed to stop ourselves. Etienne wasn't a scared and lonely boy anymore, and she was hardly the most dangerous person around. Hello, Mother, Etienne called to her, pitching his voice carefully to reach her without the soldiers hearing him. I never asked, did Modi tell you we're in battle because we stole a Russian rocket and are trying to launch it into space? Yes, she said. That's why I came, isn't it? Did you think I was just in the neighborhood with a highly unusual child? Alright, he said indulgently, refusing to rise to the bait she couldn't stop herself throwing at him. I noticed Sam, our muscular astronaut, sliding closer, and I gestured for him to join us if he could. He arranged cover fire and then darted over to us. Chief is busy, he said. He told me to tell you another small issue we may have. Oh, yes? I said through gritted teeth. How many people had I already sent to their deaths today? The rocket isn't, well, it isn't finished. Being built, I mean. We need to do that too. What research do we need and how long will it take? Well, right now there's not much anyone can do until we figure out what exactly needs to be done, he said. But we'll need scientists later to aid us if we want to launch before we all die. Just letting you know. Okay, you know what? I'm going to end it here. I'm going to see you guys in the next video, and peace.